Alright, we got match 5. I'm on the draw. Captain Sisse was a weird one there. You don't see that one very often because it's not especially good in a control-heavy metagame. Do I keep this? What am I playing against? It's fast if they don't have, but I'm on the draw. I'm going to keep it. Got 2 turns to draw into a land. I think the chances of that are pretty good. Or you could just not remove one of the elves. Looks like it's going to die. There it goes. Oh, that's not good. And we didn't draw land. Play this anyways. I think the chances of drawing a land in 2 draws are pretty high. And this hand was pretty good if I did draw land. I still kind of think that was the right thing to do. But it looks pretty bad from this perspective. It's actually a problem I have with this deck a lot. It's okay, the chances of drawing it in 3 turns are super high, and then not draw. Alright. I don't think we're still in this at all. Alright, I'm moving on. Should I wait for a draw? I don't know. He's looking at the top card of my library. So we're not drawing a land. Alright. I still think it's hard. This deck is pretty hard to mulligan with. Like it's fine if you mulligan. I think you mulligan aggressively on 7, and you mulligan much less aggressively on 6. And maybe I should have mulliganed a little more aggressively there, but that looks like a good hand. It's a good deck. I mean, I went 3-2 twice in a row, so I broke even. That's pretty good. I wish I could have gotten one of these last 2 games. That would have been really nice. Actually, Vial Smasher is a pretty hard matchup anyways, because like you can put, a Primeval Titan and a World Breaker on the board, and you can block everything, and then Vial Smasher still kills you, because again, you can't interact with Vial Smasher. It's one of those matchups where either you mess with their mana, or you just lose. And I just didn't get any, and I had a hand that could have messed with his mana, but I didn't draw a land for 4 turns, which is, that's just bad luck. So I still think that was probably the right keep, but so that's the deck. I think it loses as much to itself as it does to anything else. So to 5-0 with it, you kind of got to get kind of lucky. Because, like I said, you got to mulligan a little bit aggressively. You need ramp. Otherwise, like, you're not going anywhere. Like, a lot of the other decks in the format are just too fast. If you don't get some early ramp, first or second turn, you're not going to get very far, and you're just going to get, steamrolled by the other decks. So like you know, um, and sometimes you just don't draw any creatures because your commander is just Nissa. If you can flip her, then she draws you an extra card, but sometimes that's not enough. So that's something you didn't really see, is sometimes you just don't draw any creatures or anything good, and the other half of the time you just never get there. But you keep a hand that looks good, and it never gets there. It stalls out. Sometimes it stalls out at 4 or something like that, and it looks good, or you get your mana interrupted with. So it's still a really fun deck. I like it a lot. It's one of the best mono green decks in the format. But it's and it's better against the control decks than basically any of the other mono green decks, because you can mess with their lands or you can go way above them. But it still has problem, and it is a whole control heavy meta game, and it does still lose a decent number of games to those, and it loses a decent number of games to Sidisi. Sidisi's a pretty bad matchup unless you can mess with their land, and there's a lot of decks that are like that out there where it's like, so I might want to try at some point in the future, running like the green land removal. I don't know if it's you're not really adding anything to the board if you're killing the mana and not getting something else, but that's what makes Primal Command so good, is you hit their land and you get a creature. So I don't know if, Winter's Grass and, the Thermokarst and those kind of things, I don't know if they're good enough. But it might be fun to try, like a land removal heavy, maybe add Nature's Claim and, to hit mana rocks and stuff like that. But that's the deck. Thank you for watching.